Hello everyone, welcome back to the Opulent Life. This is Ozzy here again. Today we are unboxing and reviewing another Tag Heuer, this time the Carrera Caliber 16 automatic. We're going to do a full hands-on detailed review of everything on this watch, including the box, specs, and movement. Before we dive further into this watch, I think it's important for us to know the significance of the Carrera race upon which this watch is named after. So here's a little intro video for you guys to understand the history behind the race and what caused the birth of this watch. The Carrera Panamericana was a border-to-border sedan and sports car racing event on open roads in Mexico, similar to the Mille Miglia and Targa Florio in Italy. Running for 5 consecutive years from 1950 to 1954, it was widely held by contemporaries to be the most dangerous race of any type in the world. It has since been resurrected along some of the original course as a classic speed rally. Historically, it was a 5-day race across the country. Due to safety concerns, the race was cancelled after the 1955 Le Mans disaster. Only a third of the entrants typically finished the race, and unlike more compact circuits, the long straight sections were impossible to secure entirely, making it possible for crashes to linger for several hours before being noticed. 27 people had died during the 5 years of the Panamericana, giving it one of the highest mortality rates per race in the history of motorsports. Even after being abandoned, the race would not be immediately forgotten. Porsche enjoyed some success in the race, mainly class wins. Later, some Porsche road cars were named Carrera after this race. Similarly, the watchmaker Heuer, then known for its motorsport stopwatches, introduced a chronograph called the Carrera Panamerica after the 1953 race, which developed into its long-running Carrera range. The Panamericana remains a true high-speed race stage rally mainly through the mountains, and as such is extremely dangerous. Alright, now that you guys have gone through that interesting history lesson about the Carrera and Tag Heuer and its significance in the motorsport industry, let's go to the actual watch and see what it's made of. Okay, like Tag Heuer says, what are you made of? So let's find out what they are made of. We have this black carbon fibrous box, I would like to say. It definitely has some cotton elements. I don't know if you guys can zoom in and see, but it's definitely not the standard Tag Heuer box that I got with the Aqua Racer. This is a little bit different in texturing. Feels a little bit well made, although I think it's made of recyclable material. I think they're trying to reflect the reducing the carbon footprint and being lightweight and using carbon fiber and all that stuff to make their cars go faster and lighter for motorsport. Something of that sort. That's probably why they chose this material. Tag Heuer is written in silver. The logo on the top, they are not using their color scheme on this box right now. So let's open the outer one. Right. And then we have this inner box inside a box, typical of all watches. This is actually nice material, gray, just like the outer, but a little bit lighter gray this time. And it feels like faux leather, but much nicer quality than the last box that I saw with the Aqua Racer. So, rectangular box, less squarish, more rectangular than the last one. You can see just my fingerprints on there. Okay, and then inside, before you open the box up, we have this casing, same as the one over here. And then inside this, we have the Tag Heuer instruction booklet. Everything on here, and the warranty card in the back. How to activate the movement and everything. I think that's all in there. Activate the chronograph, sorry. Movement is automatic, so you don't need to activate it. So let's put that back. Now coming to the actual box, let's open this thing up. Get the receipts out of the way. And by the way, guys, I got this from Bloomingdales. We're going to come back to that in a second. Here we go. Here's the watch box, guys. Tag Heuer embossed in leather. but not colored, just embossed on the top side. Tag Heuer Swiss avant-garde since 1860 written on this side. There's no secret compartments here, I think. Yep. This is the one with the day date. I think it's right now in the process of shifting day and date. Right now it's at the cusp of it. Probably that's why. So we'll just set that in a second. So they're now coming with these new substitutes for watch pillows. These M-shaped foams with some leather stitching, faux leather stitching on top. I think this is a good idea as it allows us to put the watch easily back on and take it off when needed. And, you know, it's much nicer. I think it feels better and something new. So let's take it off. Put this back in. All right, so let me just change the date and day because it's kind of bothering me in this position. Let's just move it forward in time. There you go, the date and the day has changed. We're gonna come back to that complication in a second. Set to a safe time that we can easily view the watch stuff. Right. Okay, there we go. Okay guys, so here it is. This is kind of, I don't want to say flagship now because they have so many different Carreras, but this is, when you think of Tag Heuer Carrera, this is the watch you think of. Typically what you think of. The Tag Heuer Carrera chronograph with the day and the date. Some of their models come with the date only function. This is all bells and whistles. It's got the date and the day both together on it. And as you can see, it's a black dial. Let's talk about the dial in detail. Matte black finish, 3 chronograph registers, and one's at the 12R, one's at the 6R mark, one's at the 9R. The one at the 9R mark is the seconds register for the actual watch. The one at the 12R mark is the 30-minute marker. 6 o'clock you have the 12R marker for the chronograph. So the top and the bottom one are for the chronograph, and then the seconds hand that's moving, it's not actually a seconds hand, it's for the chronograph. I set it to on. So this is what happens. You press the top button here, marked in red, it stops and starts. Press it again, starts again. Press it again, stops. Use the second button to reset everything back up. If you want us to restart it, just press it again. Nice solid click when you press on it, so that's nice. I like that the seconds hand is easily marked with the red tip, so you can easily discriminate what second it is right now. So as I was talking about the dials, those are the 3 registers. These appear to be slightly recessed, which is nice. The top register and the bottom register are recessed. Those are for the chronograph, and I like the fact that they have a silver outline with red markers on the registers. It makes it easy to read. So the chronograph function is quite legit, I must say. Same thing does not follow on the seconds hand for the watch itself. I'd like to have seen a red tip over there also, but I think they wanted to differentiate the chronograph from the actual watch, so that's why. So anyways, so those 2 are recessed. Actually, the seconds register for the watch is also recessed, but if you can see, yep, it's slightly recessed, but not as much as these 2. So some nice design cues, nice detailing going on in the dial. Matte black finish overall. We have the minute hand and the seconds hand. They seem to have a brushed finish with some recessing, allowing for some of these lume strips, again separated by some metal at the tips, just like you saw in the Aqua Racer. We're going to do a lume test later to see what this one is made up of also. We have, what else we have? We have these applied Arabic numeral markers in silver on the dial throughout. We have it for all of it, 60 minutes, 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, all of them basically. The dial is easy to read, as you would expect in a racing chronograph of this sort. And what else? So we have a tachymeter bezel. It's ceramic, black ceramic, nice shine to it. So a tachymeter, what does it do? A tachymeter is basically designed to measure speed over a fixed distance. So let me show you what I mean. So let's say I stop this, okay? Now, if you have a fast moving object or any moving object that travels a distance of 1 kilometer, okay? So as soon as that object starts the distance, you press the red button over here, the top button, and you start timing it. As soon as it crosses the 1 kilometer or 1,000 meter mark, you stop it. And then this tachymeter over here tells you the average speed of that object. In this case, it would be somewhere between 370 or 380 kilometers per hour. Yeah, so that's basically the function of the tachymeter. Not super useful in daily life, but nevertheless nice to have it. I mean, on a racing chronograph, I would expect to have that function. What else on the dial? So we have the Tag Heuer logo right over here, the 2 o'clock position. Okay. Underneath it says Carrera. Then we have the date and the day. Underneath that we have the caliber 1600 meter water resistance marking. Yeah, so nice to have a 100 meter water resistance marking on these chronographs. I will not expect more because after all it's not designed to be underwater. I like that the date and the day windows have clear markings with some white and silver borders over here. So that's nice. It means that they put some thought into the date window. And it's not a full day, it's an abbreviated day, by the way, guys. It's not the full Sunday written, it's sun, S-U-N, which means it's abbreviated. So on the 9 o'clock side, you see it says automatic chronograph. Well, that's what it is. And then at the 6 o'clock, you have the typical Swiss-made markings. The chapter ring has every single second marked for the indices. So let's say you are timing something. It is very easy to read it. I like that. And that's how it should be for all chronographs. If a chronograph is hard to read, it's not really that functional. It's nice to see that they made this as a really functional chronograph. So I like that fact. So let's talk about the case. Watch is fully stainless steel. Case has a silver mirrored finish either side. No difference in brushing or finishes. One silver polished and mirrored finish all across the case, front, back, everywhere except for the bracelet. We're going to come back to that in a bit. But yeah, all the pushers are also mirrored finish. You have a red marker on the starter, black on the crown. Movement in this watch is based on the caliber 16 is basically based on an ETA value 7750 movement. It has both, stop this, it has both hacking and hand winding, as you can see. If you can hear that, that's the winding. Let's check for the hacking also. I think the second hand is being covered over here. There you go. So let's see if I pull the crown out all the way. It stopped. So there is hacking on this, as you would expect on any 7750. See, it has stopped. Press it back in, resumes. Okay. So first position out, you can adjust the date, quick set, and then so if you go clockwise on the crown, the date adjusts. Go anti-clockwise, the day adjusts. They're both quick sets, so that's good. The crown is push and pull only. There's no screw down option on this. It's not a dive watch. You have the Tag Heuer emblem logo on here, and you can make it straight if you want to, because there's no screw down option, so you can make it nice and symmetrical. The lugs I want to talk about. These lugs feel sharp, too sharp. See that edge over here? That is way too sharp. That can cut into skin. I don't like that. Even though you may not feel it when you're wearing the bracelet, but look at that, guys. Wow. That's scary. Either side. Do not like that. That's not good finishing, I believe. That's a design flaw. They need to fix that. It's not cool. can really hurt someone. Like if you take it off and it scratches on your skin, it can leave a mark. And guys, I'm serious, this is not lightly sharp. It is very sharp, very, very sharp indeed. Okay, so those are the lugs. The watch is 43 millimeters in diameter, guys, and it is large. It wears large. It's also very thick. It's about almost 17 millimeters thick, to be exact, 16.85 millimeters. Bandwidth is 20.3 millimeters, and then you have the 43 millimeter case. So yeah, it takes up a lot of real estate. We're gonna do a wrist shot to check that out. Okay, let's discuss the movement again. So like I mentioned, it's an ETA 7750 Value. It's basically the same movement that I have in my Tissot Bridgeport, but that's an ETA 7753. So a little bit of modification on that. In this one, the position of the registers is different. On the Tissot, you have it at the 10, 6, and 2 o'clock position. Here you have the 12, 9, and 6 o'clock position. So it's moved around a little bit, and then it has the daydate complication also. So that makes it a little bit different, but basically it's the same thing. It's 7750, same functions, hacking, hand winding, chronograph, 25 joules, 28,800 VPH. So that's good. High beat, not super high beat, but decent high beat chronograph. Then you have a power reserve of 42 hours. In a chronograph, that's acceptable. It's basically the same amount you see in the Tissot Bridgeport, also has 42 hours. The Aqua Racer was disappointing with 38 hours, but this being a chronograph with 42 hour power reserve is perfectly fine in my opinion. You have a scratch resistant domed sapphire crystal. That's nice. Very good to see that. If you look at it at this angle, the detailing looks really cool, really nice, very detailed. Definitely looks like very race car inspired. I like to see the light reflect on those Arabic numerals like that, and gives a nice 3D effect if you look at it this way. Good finishing on this part, at the dial at least. Looking more closely, you can see, even though this is brand new, guys, there's some scratches on here. And so I got this from Bloomingdales, and the lady, I told this lady, she said that, you know, it comes this way, they take the stickers off, they put them in the store, they don't have fresh pieces. So she assured me that this wouldn't be a problem, and because of the mirrored finishes, it's typical, it happens. Guys, I've gotten watches from Joma Shop, and they have every single sticker on them. There's not a scratch on those watches, and this is from a department store with warranty. I don't know, it doesn't bode well with me. So that's the front. Sides, you see here. Let's go to case back. As you can see, the 7750 movement is jumping away and whirring away inside there. It says Swiss made since 1860, sapphire crystal, 100 meters, Carrera, has the serial number over there. Drilled rotors from the sides. Says caliber 16, Swiss made. Typical 7750 movement. Not super decorated, but there is some perlage. I can see, I don't know if you guys can get a good angle from here. Let's see. Yeah, definitely some perlage. Not super decorated, but you can't expect that at this price point or on this movement like this. Yeah. Holding it up real close to the camera so you guys can get a good look at it. Yep. Decent, looks decent. Nice to have that. Yeah. Okay. Nice to have a see-through case back. Although it is kind of a small window. I would suggest, you know, maybe expanding the window a little bit. But anyways, so, okay. Let's come to the bracelet. Stainless steel, brush finish. I like it. I really like Tag Heuer's bracelets for some reason. I think they put some real effort into them. The brushing is nice. Then it has those polished finishes in between also. Very nice. Like it. On this side, again, same thing follows. And you have Tag Heuer logo here. It's a push button fold over clasp. Okay. No divers extensions, nothing fancy like that, but the quality of the pushers is pretty decent from what I'm seeing. Tag Heuer embossed here, brush finished throughout, stainless steel. Haven't taken off these stickers here yet. Closes very nicely. Okay. Bracelet is held by pins, mirror finish on the side, just like we saw on the Aqua Racer. So would have been nice to see some screws instead of pins at this price point, guys. I'm gonna talk about the price in a second. But yeah, so that's the watch itself. Okay, the moment that you guys have all been waiting for. Let's do a lume test. I suspect there's not a lot of lume on this, but I just want to be sure, so let's shine this torch on this and wait for a little bit. Typically, with my experience, racing chronographs do not have too much lume, but they should still have some, because guys, night racing is also a thing, and not sure if they follow that design language. Let's see. I think that's sufficient time. Any good watch would be charged up. Let's turn the lights off and see how it goes. Okay, disappointed. As expected, only the minute and the hour hand have the lume, and it's just regular green lume. I don't think this is super luminova. It'll probably fade away pretty fast, though it's legible. I mean, if you can tell, it's telling the time okay. Yeah. But really, when you see the reflection on these Arabic numerals, that really helps you out. But if you're in pitch black situations, not gonna help. But yeah, I mean, if you have a little bit of light source and it's shining properly enough, you might be able to tell the time decently. But this lume, subpar from my respects. Okay, so back to daylight for this thing. Okay, and the Carrera comes in a variety of options, guys. You can get a leather strap, you can get a deploying strap, you can get blue dial, gray dial, you can get just date only, no date, different types of combination. You can get a tourbillon Carrera, you can get a skeletonized Carrera. There's endless Carreras, there's time only Carreras, there's time with date Carreras. They've got a Carrera for everybody, literally. They can start from like an entry price point around 2,000, go all the way up to 25,000, guys. This one here, this particular reference is for $48.50 retail. I got this for $51.50 at Bloomingdales with tax, obviously. They had this great deal going on where if you spend $300, you get $100 back in gift card money. So with this, I was able to get $1,600 of gift cards. And that's a great deal, guys. If you guys want to check that out, basically, if you subtract that amount, really you've just paid $3,400 or $3,500 for the watch, and then you have $1,500 of gift cards that you can use at Bloomingdales to buy pretty much anything. So not a bad deal. Not so sure I'm going to keep this one, guys, but yeah, so that's where I got it from. I got it from a department store, didn't get it from Joe My Shop because I wasn't sure if I'm going to keep it or not. But it looks good. I might keep it. It is a pretty decent watch, but there are some distinct flaws, guys. Like I mentioned, the lugs, the sharp edges here, the poor lume quality. I don't like the matte black dial. I would have liked to see maybe a sunburst or some kind of, imagination on the dial. And I don't like the fact that Tag Heuer logo is all blacked out and just etched. It should have been colored. That's why I like it. I like the green and the red on there. Also, guys, these are in minute hands. I've been looking at them very closely, and the finishing on the minute and the hour hands is not great. It's not good. It feels cheap. Yeah, there's only one way to describe it. Feels like cheap metal on there. Yeah, but only if you look very closely, very, very closely. Otherwise you can't tell. But knowing the kind of person I am, I'm gonna spend a lot of time with this watch. I'm gonna notice those defects, and I don't like that. Anyway, let's take a wrist shot. 6.5 inch wrist, and I have some gloves on, so it adds to a little bit of thickness, but I haven't sized the bracelet yet, guys, so I think this is a better way to do it. Looks good. Let's see. Here we go. 43 millimeters, a little bit big. My 6.5-inch wrist allows me a maximum of 42 millimeters, but this, if you guys like the oversized thing, you can go for it. So that's the wrist shot, guys. Looks decent. Definitely bold design, stands out, aimed towards younger people, 20s to 30s, 30s, 40s maybe. Well, maybe if you're older, if you still like it, you can go for it, but it's totally aimed towards a younger audience, guys. I totally agree with their kind of marketing. They're marketing the younger people with Lewis Hamilton, Chris Hemsworth, Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, all those, motivational lines such as "Don't crack under pressure," or "What are you made of?" All those inspirational lines. They're all aimed towards the younger generation, building their career, looking for their first luxury watch. And then they go into a department store, they see Tag Heuer, they're like, oh, Formula One, motorsport, Lewis Hamilton, cool, let's buy it. It's aimed towards that generation. It's very, very mass market appeal, not really watch geek, watch enthusiast appeal. Watch geeks and the collector community, they don't like Carreras. Not just Carreras, they don't like Tag Heuers. Maybe the only one they like is the Monaco. And that's because Tag Heuer has been doing some crazy things with their watches ever since they got acquired by Tag in the 1970s. They've made some really stupid models like the Link collection and some really blingy and odd fashion watchy stuff that really gave them a bad rap. They've reinvented themselves. They made some improvements, with the design and everything, but still, bad taste carries on, guys. It's not easy to wipe that off. And they continue doing it. Sometimes they replace their eras with Salida movements and they don't tell you. So even though this is supposed to be an ETA 7750, I don't know the exact movement in there. It might be a Salida SW500. It might be a clone of the ETA 7750. They started doing that in 2012. So you never know what you're getting in a movement. You may be buying it from Macy's, getting the ETA, but then you might be buying it from Bloomingdales and getting the Salida movement. So that's kind of, not very good. It's especially if you're a watch geek, it matters to you what movement is in there. You're gonna get upset. So that's probably why they don't have very good name in the collector community. But mass market appeal, totally up there. Every young guy wants this watch. This like a transition point. You get this racing chronograph, a sporty watch, and then you go for the Rolexes. I don't see it that way. I judge a watch by what it is and not for its, advertisement or fame. And that's my honest review of this watch, guys. So if you are interested, this is for $48.50 retail at Bloomingdales if you want that deal, or if you're like me and you want to buy it, without the warranty, hassle, and all those shenanigans, you can just go to Joma Shop and buy for $3,595, $35.95. It'll save you a lot of money. That's a good price. But if you want to save even more, you can check out their outlet stores, and I believe you can get it for much less. I don't want to quote the exact price, but I think it was somewhere in the 2000s if you wanted the date only. I think this one was also maybe there, but slightly higher price. But do check it out before you buy from Joma Shop. Do check out their outlet store. They have some good models there that you would not expect. They don't have the Monacos, but they have some Carreras. They have some Formula Ones, some Aqua Racers. So, but their inventory is kind of tight. So yeah, so that was the Tag Heuer Carrera review, hands-on and unboxing. Let me know if you guys like this watch, what you guys want me to review. Write it in the comments section. I'll try to get that watch and review it as best as I can. Please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more content. And until then, take care, guys. Have a good day.